Welcome to All Talk, All the Time. Live from the city of the Big Mango, we bring you the All Talk Network, where free speech absolutists live. Ladies and gentlemen, are coming to you live from the city of the Big Mango, Bangkok, Thailand, by way of All Talk Productions. This is Bangkok Bookies. And today we have a great show for you as we cover all your NFL action. But before we get into the show, into the games, we ask you to first please like, subscribe, share, bang that notification bell, folks. Please let your family, friends know. Share. It helps us. It helps you. And with that being said, I'm here with the star, Bangkok Bookie star, Boston Dave, and I'm Big Joe. Dave, welcome back again.
Hey, thanks, Joe. It's always a pleasure to be here. Love jaw wagging with you. It's one of the highlights of my week, buddy.
I appreciate it. Same here.
We got Halloween weekend here in Bangkok. It's sure to please.
Yeah. There you go, folks. There you go. Happy Halloween.
We got some great games. We got some great games coming up on tap. We missed tonight's game. I love Baltimore and the under on that game tonight. As we all know, Baltimore kicked the crap out of the lowly Dolphins.
Weird game. The Dolphins actually moved the ball very well in the first half. Turnovers.
I think there were three. Were there two interceptions?
No, there was no interceptions. There was
an interception. Baltimore intercepted the ball at the very end of the game.
Oh, okay.
So there were two fumbles and an interception.
I think I got disgusted to that point. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I got the receiver, Washington, fumbled twice. And he did great. He got hit hard. He was mugged.
But the one thing that, all our viewers Sunday warriors, gamblers out there should understand. Lamar Jackson, he looks in top form. It almost looks like he didn't have any injury at all. He wasn't hampered by anything. And by the way, Joe, they have the easiest schedule. They have the easiest remaining schedule in the NFL.
They do.
So it wouldn't be surprising if they took that division.
And Lamar Jackson, everyone's like his running ability. Yes, we all know Lamar can run, but his passing has gotten a lot better over the years too. He's an elite quarterback. The Ravens, I believe, are going to come back and win the division. They're 3-5. The Steelers have struggled, lost their last two. I think the Ravens, 100% healthy, can beat anybody in the league. So.
I agree with you 100%. It's not going to be surprising to me, to see Indy, New England, obviously Buffalo, Baltimore, and the Chargers for the AFC, and in the NFC, Green Bay, Philly, Seattle, and Detroit.
Well, Seattle is good, but
they win the tiebreaker as it stands today.
Yeah.
Philadelphia wins the tiebreaker over Tampa Bay, based on the head-to-head. Seattle wins the tiebreaker over the Rams based on percentage of wins in their division, and Detroit wins the tiebreaker over the Rams based on best percentage in the conference. So, Los Angeles Rams, have got to win 60 to 65% of the games coming up. If they don't, they may find another team just stepping over them coming in, because they lose two tiebreakers with teams that are better than them right now. So
the hot seat watch. Someone asked me this week, what coach is on the hot seat? Look, it's obviously from my team. Mike McDaniel's seat is hot. Barring a lightning strike or a miracle, he's getting fired. Whether it's during the season, I don't know, or the ownership waits till after the season.
I've heard some rumblings. I've heard some rumblings out of South Florida over the last couple of weeks. They are 2-7 now. They're the odds of them making the playoffs are 6-7-1 against. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he is going to get let go. I think you're also going to see. I think you're also going to see a lot of their second and third stringers coming in to avoid injuries.
Yes.
For the rest of the season. So
see some pieces move the trade deadline now. Had they win at Baltimore, they still have a slim shot. But this loss pretty much puts the nail in the coffin. So the trade deadline to see a couple pieces move. Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb to get salaries off the book. because whoever's coming in, they're going to want to bring in their own coach and chance to reshape the roster. So that'll be interesting. Other coaches on the hot seat. Well, believe it or not, I was reading and talking to some people close to the Jets. They think Aaron Glenn is his first year. But I personally think that win last week, it's his first year. Come on. Who's turned around the Jets lately, like the Dolphins? Like same thing with the Dolphins. Who's turned them around? I think you got to give him more than 1 year. I find that hard to believe.
I think they will. I was offering, and by the way, this is being brought to you by PlayExpat.com. You mention it. Setting up an account, we're going to give you a 25% cash deposit bonus by mentioning Bangkok Bookies. I had prior to last week's game, we had a promotion. Anybody that had bet $500 or more on the Jets to either win their division or win the Super Bowl, if the Jets went 0-4 for the entire season, if they didn't win a game, we were going to refund half their money, half the bet amount back. Because it's almost as hard. It's just as hard to lose, every game in a season as it is to win every game in a season.
Well, luckily for them, Tyrod Taylor's a solid backup. They put him in.
He is.
He got him the victory, and I think it's big for Aaron Glenn. Tennessee will be looking for a new coach in the offseason. The Miami Dolphins will be looking for a new coach. And I'm sure if we dig deeper, there's always shockers. What they call Black Monday. But with that being said,
and we got November 4th is the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speculate on anything, because anytime I've ever speculated on trades, I've been wrong. It's coming to bite me in the ass. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, there has been a flurry of trades. New England, Philadelphia.
There haven't been any big ones.
No, not shockers. Look, for example, I keep talking about my team, the Dolphins. They're gonna offload some players with big salary. Bradley Chubb, who's one of their better defensive ends, I'm sure a contender might want him, or Jalen Phillips. But again, the trade deadline is November 4th, so we'll see if there's any big trades coming in or teams looking to unload salary now if they're pretty much out of it. But with that being said, we're ready for the Bangkok Bookie game breakdown. Sponsored by, of course, our friends here at the Sportsman. If you're looking for a place here in Bangkok to come watch sports, as we've shown you in past videos, there's plenty of TVs. If you want to play pool, there's plenty of pool tables downstairs and upstairs. Also, there's plenty of drink options available, plenty of food options available, and the staff here at the Sportsman.
And don't forget, they got all the games at starting at 6:00 in the morning here for all the guys in the U.S. and they'll stay open late for the late soccer games for the guys from Europe. So great place to come, meet your friends, have something to eat, have some drinks, play some pool, and watch the games.
Yes, it is. So please.
And bet with PlayExpat.com.
All right.
All right, Big Joe. Oh, by the way, we got to touch upon this. Kind of disappointed with the Dodgers. We got that first game right. We laid the 1.5 runs and took back $1.25 with game one, and we won that game easy. But I got to tell you something. Toronto's bats have come alive, and the LA pitching just has not been able to close the door in any important innings over the last 5 games.
Been taught, and I mostly played football and wrestling and stuff growing up. Played a little baseball when I was younger. I've always been taught by people who knew a lot about baseball. Pitching wins championships. But so far, it looks like Toronto is putting that. Although Toronto's pitching has been good too, their bats though have been overpowering as of
this kid. Savage, and we talked about him being a young pitcher and an impact pitcher. He set a World Series record. He's the only pitcher in World Series history that has thrown more than 10 strikeouts and not walked anybody.
Right.
Okay, that's the first time in World Series history. Again, folks, this kid, Savage for Toronto, is an impact pitcher, and I see that for years to come, along with Schlittler for the New York Yankees. Keep an eye on these two young men, big boys, lots of composure, can paint the corners even at this young age. So you keep an eye on these guys. So go ahead, Joe. Take it away.
All right. So now for our favorite portion of the show.
Oh, by the way, we took a beating last week.
We did. And here in our Bangkok Bookies picks time and our game breakdown, yes, I have to admit, I hope you all didn't bet the mortgage because we took a beating. And with that being said, before Dave starts talking the games here, this is for entertainment purposes only. All right, Dave, give us the first game breakdown.
Well, like I said last week, I like to look at the standings. Coming into the second half of the season, the most important half of the season, you really got to focus on those teams, the mid-range teams that are one win or one loss away from getting knocked out percentile-wise out of the playoffs, out of the wild card. All right. It's a shoo-in. Unless something drastic happens in New England, Denver, or Buffalo, or KC, you can expect to see 90% of those teams in it. Okay. Same thing in the NFC. Green Bay, Philly, Tampa's starting to level out a little bit. Seattle's playing some good ball. Of course, Detroit's playing some good ball. And the Rams and San Francisco, though San Francisco lost a game last week.
I think, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, now we're going into November. Now you're going to see who's the big boys and who is weak. Strong survival of the fittest. I think Tampa failed the test last week. Detroit punched them in the mouth.
Right.
I like Baker Mayfield, but Tampa's not physical enough to be an elite team yet. Detroit, there was a litmus test for Tampa, and Dan Campbell's crew, we pretty much punched them right in the mouth.
Los Angeles Rams basically have to win, basically have got to win 60 to 70% of the remaining games they play, simply because, like I said before,
no tiebreaker.
They're okay. Seattle beats them in a tiebreaker. The Lions beat them in a tiebreaker. Okay, and it just so happens that those two teams are, sitting above them record-wise. All right, so any game that the Los Angeles Rams are competing in the rest of the year, very, very important. Okay, so with that being said, okay,
give us the first game breakdown.
Let's look at it. You want to go early games and wind it up with the late games?
Absolutely, with the main event game. Yeah, we'll go. Let's start with the early games for sure.
All right, we got an in division game that jumps right out at me. Okay, and that's the Vikings are at the Lions. Okay.
Yes, it's an interesting game. You got now, depending on the site, on different gambling sites, Detroit's 8.5 point favorite,
and we got them 9.5 and 10.
Wow!
Okay, so if you're seeing a discrepancy of 8 and 10, right? That's to a professional handicapper, that is that's utopia, because regardless of who you like, if you can lay 8 and take 10, you're doing it. Okay, looking for that
over and under
5%, 5% middle.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you had to, pick a side in this game, Joe, you got the Lions. You've got the Lions are 3-4, and they're at. I'm sorry, you've got the Vikings away 3-4 at Detroit, who's 5-2. That's a big number, for an inside division game. That is a big number. Okay, so you know what? Today, I'll give my assessment, but I'm going to let you go first with the picks.
All right. Well, some trends. The total in Minnesota's last 5 games the total's going over.
Okay.
Last 5 games, Minnesota's been 3-6 against the spread the last 9 games. The one thing that sticks out to me, Minnesota's 0-5 in its last 5 games against Detroit.
Okay.
if on the road, Minnesota's going over 6 of their last 8 games. But however, they're injured. They have McCarthy's out, and I think look, I normally like underdog like spreads, but I would take the Lions and the 8.5, even the 9 and 10 points, the favorite. I think Detroit's going to bludgeon
All
them.
right, so if we see, we know the line's going to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're seeing 8, we know right now. I see 9.5, and even 10 minus 20. Okay, or plus 10 minus 20. So we all know it's going to go up. So let's, for the sake of saying, let's average that out. I don't see too many 8s. Why don't, if you like Detroit, why don't we agree at a number of -9?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, big number. Everything you said about Minnesota's injuries and the trends,
Yeah.
the point spread trends and covering the spread over the last 5 or 6 games for each team. I'm not going to take a side on this. I am going to go under 49.5 in this game. Like you said, Minnesota is nursing some injuries, and Detroit has a big opportunity to move one game closer to winning that conference. So I'm feeling that Detroit's defense is going to step up for this game. So I'm going to go under 49.5 in the Detroit game.
I agree.
Okay, so Big Joe's going to go -9 with Detroit.
-9. I'm going. Big Joe's going -9, and I would say the score is going to be like 31-7, 24-3, something like that. I see Detroit manhandling Minnesota.
Okay, I'm not gonna give you the exact score, but I am. Boston Dave in the Vikings versus Lions game this weekend is going to go under 49.5.
Sounds good.
All right. So next game up is Carolina at the Packers. Carolina's 4-4, and Green Bay is 5-1-1.
Jeez.
All right, another big number. Okay.
This is double digits.
This is double digits, and you're approaching that 13, and I see as low as 13.5, and I see as high as 14.5.
Yeah, I think I saw 14 this morning on one of the sites.
Okay, you got Love. Listen, this kid's a baller. He's got a TD to interception ratio of 13 TDs against only 2 interceptions. This is, I think, his best year yet. He's got 1,800 yards passing. But Carolina does have their running back Dowdle.
Yes.
Okay, he's averaging over 6 yards per carry, and you've got McMillan, their wide receiver, who's averaging about 20 to 25 yards per catch. So I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than what the bookmakers have it at.
I agree too, simply for the fact that Carolina was blown out 40-9 by Buffalo last week. But I agree with you. I agree.
All right, I'm going to take Boston Dave's going to take the Carolina Panthers plus 14.5 in this game.
I agree. I have to agree. And the trends, some of the trend analysis is Carolina is 5-2 against the spread. So their last week they got blown out. They're going to lose, I believe, but I think they lose by like something like 10 points. They'll play a little tougher than people think.
Well, and again, I love, even though Love is having, I believe, the best season of his career, I think Dowdle, the running back for Carolina, and McMillan, their wide receiver, are going to open up the offense.
I have to agree.
Open up the Panthers' offense that way. So both Big Joe and Boston Dave are taking the Carolina Panthers plus the 14.5 over the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and I'm not going to touch the over and under the side on that one. I'm not going to touch it.
Okay. Here's another big game. And like I said earlier, like I alluded to earlier, if this was the last game of the season, the LA Chargers, even though they're having a good year, even though they're 5-3 and 2-1 away, they've got to win their games because in tiebreakers, 2 or 3 of the teams above them knock them out. All right. The Chargers are at Tennessee, and here's another number. Right now,
Another huge one.
another big number. I see the Chargers are -9.5.
Yeah.
Over the Titans.
Over and under is 43.5, 43.
Yeah, you've got Herbert, who has 2,200 yards passing this year. Another good year for a quarterback. He's got a 16 TD to 7 interception ratio. That's why he's got over 2,000 yards passing halfway through the season. If he with this with these stats, we could see our first 5,000 yard passing quarterback in a long time. Okay, if that front line of theirs can stay strong, we're gonna see this kid.
The only thing with the LA Chargers, they tend to play down to their competition a little bit. They are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games.
Right.
Now, the Chargers in the past 13 games, in 9 of those games for the Chargers, the total has gone over. So, take it on the road. The total when the Chargers are involved, when they're with the Chargers' last 20 games, the total is going under 14 of the last 20 times.
So that's why the bookies have it at, I see it as low as 42.5 and as high as 43.5. Titans are pitiful.
Yeah, they'll be looking for a new coach. They already fired their coach mid-season.
Right. So, again, it's a big number. 9.5 is a big number. And, we both know that the Titans really can't score. And we both know, based on the trends over the last few games, Chargers games have gone under. That's why the bookmakers have it at 43. I'm going to lay off of this game. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch the total or the game itself. Do you have a position with this, Joe?
Well, the Chargers, oh man, I'll take a position in this game. Why not? If I had to pick, look, I'm gonna, once again, the favorite. I'm gonna take the Chargers -9.
Okay.
I see this game being 28-7. I think Tennessee will try to fight, but the Chargers also, their defense has been sneaky good this year. So I would say take the 9, even if it's 9.5, take it. I say something like a 28-7, 24-7.
So you mean lay it? Lay the 9
Lay
or
the
9.5?
9, yeah, lay the 9.
Okay.
And you know what? And I'll even go in with a side. I say under 43.5.
Okay, so Big Joe, Boston Dave's laying off of this game. No total, no side. Big Joe is going with the Chargers -9 and under 43.5. All right, let's move down the schedule. We got the Falcons sitting at 3-4 versus the Patriots, led by Drake May, who are at 6-2. Drake May has over 2,000 yards passing. He's got a 15 touchdown to only 3 interception ratio. Yeah. Okay. You've got his receiver who he and Diggs have gelled. Diggs has got 42 receptions for almost 500 yards. So he's almost 10, 11 yards per carry. I see this game as low as 4.5, Joe. I feel comfortable taking New England -4.5 over the Falcons. In New England.
Everything to me, when on paper you look at this game, Atlanta's on the road, and this should be a blowout. Everything, the points to that. Patriots are playing the best ball they've had in years. They got a good young ascending stud quarterback. Atlanta is 4-10-1 against the spread in the last 15 games.
Okay. So we were in agreement?
Yes.
All right, so for the Falcons at the Patriots game this weekend, both Big Joe and Boston Dave are taking the New England Patriots minus 4.5. Here's another game that's very important, particularly for the visiting team. The 49ers are at the surprising Giants this year. Even though the Giants' record doesn't reflect the quality of play that they've had, especially over the last 3 to 4 weeks. 49ers are 5-3, 3-2 on the road, and the Giants are sitting at 2-6, but they are 2-1 at home. All right. San Francisco last week was a big shocker. We both took San Francisco, I believe, last week.
Yeah,
and we got the
Houston
8-ball.
clobber 'em.
We got the 8-ball shoved up our ass. I don't think it's going to happen 2 weeks in a row. Okay. No. I am confident in laying. I see this game as low as 2. I'm confident in laying 2 with the San Francisco 49ers at the Giants this week.
It's funny. We keep agreeing. I have to agree with you. I mean, I don't see him laying an egg like you said. I don't see him getting smacked 2 weeks in a row. Normally Kyle Shanahan coach teams are pretty physical,
right?
And they don't get bullied a lot. So I have to say, the San Francisco is 5-1 against the spread against the New York Giants the last 6 times they met. I think that trend is going to continue. Lay the 2.5.
All right. Well, you're going to lay 2.5. I'm going to lay 2 because I see it as low as 2.
All right.
So with the 49ers at Giants, both Big Joe and Boston Dave are going to lay the 2 with the San Francisco 49ers.
All right.
I think the bookmakers have got the side wrong here. In fact, I have San Francisco minus 2.5, minus 120 at playexpat.com. That's how confident I am in this game this weekend. And based on exactly what you said, they're 5-1 against the spread.
Yep.
Okay, playing the Giants, and I don't think anything's going to change this week.
Nah, they're going to come out after what happened to them last week.
All right, so the next game on tap, also a very important game. You've got the conference leader, Indianapolis Colts, visiting Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in Pittsburgh. Steelers need this game desperately.
Okay. Yeah, they lost 2 in a row, I believe.
Right. They need this game desperately. Jones for Indy has a 13 TD to 3 interception ratio. Obviously, Taylor, who's, I thank God that he's on my
fantasy.
On my fantasy.
It's funny, he's on mine too.
He's been blowing up this league. All right. He's got 143 carries for almost 900 yards. Okay. That is huge. Okay. That is huge. And you've got his great tight end Warren. Okay. You've got his great tight end Warren, who's got 40 receptions for almost 500 yards. Okay. So, the numbers on the gridiron would say, take the Colts minus the 3.5. I'm going to go against that.
I was hoping we had something. You must be reading my mind, because I'm thinking finally something we can disagree on. I thought you were going to take the Colts to lay the 3.
I am going to go against that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my unit bet. Okay, I'm going to split my unit bet. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers +4 for half a bet, and I'm going to take them on the money line +155 for half a bet to win the game outright.
I'm taking plus a 3, put 3.5, whatever Vegas says.
Well, we can see it at 4. So why don't we agree on that for the Colts at the Steelers this weekend? Big Joe is going to take the Steelers plus the 4, and Boston Dave is going to split his bet
I just
unit.
can't see him losing 3 in a row. I just really can't.
Okay. And I'm going to split the bet unit. Steelers plus 4 for half a bet, and Steelers plus 155 on the money line.
And for the folks at home, the total is going over in 5 of Indianapolis's last 7 games on the road.
I see it flat out at 50.
Yeah.
What do you see it at?
I see this one going over at 50.5.
Okay. All right. So are you gonna take that as a?
I'm gonna lay it out and take it.
Like, so you're taking plus 4 with Pittsburgh,
plus 4
and over 50.5.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, big. Oh, look at this! Somebody came in early for Halloween, and I believe he's wearing a Kermit the Frog outfit.
Yeah, this is why you got to come to the Sportsman, folks.
I wonder who they like in the Steelers Indy game.
I know the total's gone over at Indianapolis in 8 of the last 11 games, and the Halloween schedule here. Hello, friend.
So Big Joe. Okay, so you know what, folks? Big Joe's stepping out. This is, you know what? I think this is Big Joe's step out for the year. He's taking the Steelers plus the 4 and going over the 50.5.
I am.
And Boston Dave, again, to reiterate, is splitting the units in half, splitting the bet unit in half. He's going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 4 for half a unit and plus 155 on the money line for half a unit. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right, let's wish ourselves good luck because it is the Colts and they are a juggernaut. But I don't think this weekend.
And look, they're a surprise team. Daniel Jones is playing above his head. So now we're going to find out what the Colts are made of here as we come to November.
Right. Okay. The next game, which is not so important, are the Broncos and Texans. The Broncos are at the Texans. I see Houston is a 1.5-point favorite over Denver. I don't think Houston is that good. Again,
no.
The same thing happened last week. When Houston knocked us out of the box when they were given 2.5 points last week, and we lost that game. You know what? I'm going to err on the side of caution here. I'm not going to take any side in this game or the over/under. I'm going to lay off of this.
Houston's at home. Normally, on average.
Is that your wife, Joe?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, back to this game. So it tells you they think Denver's a better team. They think Denver would easily beat Houston on a neutral field. I'll step out on this. I'll take Denver plus the 1.5.
Okay, so Boston Dave's going to lay off the Broncos at the Texans, and Big Joe is taking the Broncos plus 1.5 over the Texans. Good luck, buddy. All right, let's now move down to the next one that, are less, even though one team is mediocre in the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are sitting at 4-3, playing a sub-mediocre team, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm laying off of this game, too.
No, I'm not going to touch that one.
Okay, so for the Jaguars versus Raiders, both Boston Dave and Big Joe are laying off. Here's a very important game, okay? And it's a must-win for the Los Angeles Rams because, like we alluded to earlier in the show, the Rams are knocked out of the playoffs by 3 teams simply because they have better records than the Rams have, okay? Statistically. The tiebreaker, that's what I meant. So you've got the Saints at the Rams. Rams are 14.5 across the board with a 43.5. Again, my balls aren't big enough to lay that kind of spread, but I also see 44.5 and as high as 45 in this game, simply because Stafford, who has a 17 touchdown to only 2 interception ratio, has to win the remaining, or 60-70% of the remaining games that he's going to be playing in. so they think he's going to roll the score up. I'm going to step out on this game and go under 45. Okay? I don't think the Saints are going to be able to keep up with the Rams. I don't think they're going to have the ball enough times. All right, so for the folks out there, the viewers, Big Joe is going to lay off the Saints at the Rams, and Boston Dave is going with under 50 in the Saints-Rams game. Sound good?
Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm sorry, not under 50. Stand corrected. Under 45.
Right.
Okay, so Big Dave is going under 45 in the Saints versus the Rams game. And Joe's laying off. All right. Biggest game of the year. Okay, biggest game of the year.
Yeah, this is the heavyweight game.
This is going to be smash mouth. This is going to be smash mouth football.
Pretty much two heavyweights.
Two heavyweights, and you've got the Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. You've got the Chiefs who are sitting at 5-3 and who are 1-2 on the road, at the Bills who are 5-2 and 3-1 at home. Okay, I see this game as high as 3. Okay,
some have it 1.5, others 3.
Right. So you know what? Again, I'm always afraid to lay big point spreads, but I'm not afraid to forego taking the point spread and going with the money line. I think the Bills are going to beat KC outright in this game, and I am going to take the Buffalo Bills plus 130 to beat the Kansas City Chiefs straight up.
Well,
now I got a funny feeling Joe doesn't agree with me here. So
look, until Josh Allen can win a big game, the spread is, like I said, I've been checking different sites even as we're talking. And this particular site has a minus 1.5 Chiefs. I think there's a reason for that. I think in a neutral field, the Chiefs are slightly better. I know the Bills have the better record. I get it, but look, the Chiefs have been, the past several years, been in 5 Super Bowls. They win big games. So until Buffalo can prove that, I'm laying minus 1.5. Matter of fact, I'm taking a -2. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this in a close game, to win this.
Okay, so for the viewers out there who we always appreciate, Big Joe is going to lay 1.5 with the Kansas City Chiefs, and Boston Dave is going to take the Buffalo Bills straight up on the money line plus 135. So we've got something to root for other than betting on the same game.
And Kansas City 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games. I think they're going to be 6-1 after Sunday afternoon.
Any given Sunday, Joe.
Absolutely.
Any given Sunday.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So the last game for Sunday, Seahawks at the Commanders / Redskins. Seattle is another sub.
Yeah,
3-point favorite.
Playing above their head.
Well, what I meant by sub 3-point favorite. They're 2 and 2.5 across the board at Washington, who is sitting at 3 and 5 overall, but they're 2 and 1 at home. And the Seahawks are sitting at 5 and 2, but they're 3 and 0 on the road.
Yes.
Okay, so
another team that's been good recently against the spread is
you've got Darnold, okay,
yep.
Who's got a 12 TD to 4 interception ratio. You've got the Seattle running back Walker III, who's got 95 carries for almost 450 yards, 3 TDs for the season, and you've got Smith hyphenated. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Nij. I know it's Nijd, something like that.
Nah.
This may be one of the best up and coming wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
He's got 50 receptions for 820 yards and 4 TDs. Okay. I'm I'm going to lay 2 with Seattle in this game. So Boston Dave is going to take the Seattle Seahawks -2 in this game.
And the other thing is Washington relies a lot on their rushing attack to move the ball. But the Seahawks lead the league in against rushing yards allowed.
Defense against the rush?
Yes. They're top 5 against the run in every major category.
Okay.
And Sam Darnold he's balling out. Congrats to him. Leaves the Jets, lands with the Seahawks. He's rejuvenated.
Isn't that always the case when a player leaves the Jets?
And Jets and Dolphins, yeah. And it's a lot of people and some experts even they think Seattle's going to run away with victory. I'm not going to touch the game.
Okay. All right. So Big Joe, when it comes to the Seahawks at the Commanders, is not going to touch the game. Boston Dave is going to take the Seahawks -2 in this game. And then for Monday night, wrapping up week 9, you've got Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys. Again, one sub-mediocre team and just a mediocre team. I just don't. I see this game. I see this game being dictated by turnovers. Even though Dak Prescott has close to 2,100 yards passing this year, he does have a 16 TD to 5 interception ratio. He tends to put the ball up for grabs in important games. I am going to go under 55 points in the Cardinals-Cowboy game.
Well, as I'm looking around here, if it's long as it's no more than 52.5, I go over.
Well, it's now sitting at 53 and 54. I know it's going to get bet up.
FanDuel, as of now, the recording has this as 53.5. Like I said, I don't see it go. I'll compromise if it's at 53. I'll take the over.
All right, so here we go for the Monday night game. One day before the trade deadline.
Yep.
I may add. Big Joe is going to go over 53, and Boston Dave is going to go under 55.
And I'll tell the folks out there the reason I'm coming to that conclusion. The Dallas defense is atrocious, and they have allowed 32 points per game in their last 3 games. The Cowboys have surrendered 44 points to the Broncos last week, and they've been.
Yeah, but the Cardinals ain't the Broncos.
They are, but
the Cardinals ain't the Broncos. And the Cowboys' defense isn't that bad against a sub-mediocre.
Look, I'm expecting Kyler Murray to be back, to have success with his arm and his feet. The Dallas offense and also Dallas has been explosive on offense. Dak Prescott is having a good season.
Yes, he is.
So that's where I get the rationale from, folks.
All right. Well, again, Big Joe going over 53 in the Dallas, Arizona game, and Boston Dave going under 55 in the Arizona Cowboys game. Okay, so that wraps up our assessment and our picks for Week 9 in the NFL. Let's turn to Game 6 in the World Series. Game 6 and 7 are Friday and Saturday this week in Toronto. The Toronto Blue Jays exploded and are now 3-2 over the Dodgers. In my opinion, the best pitcher on the Dodgers team right now is this kid Yamamoto. Okay. And I don't think tomorrow's game, this is obviously a do or die situation for Dave Roberts and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Yamamoto basically shut them down the last time they played last Saturday Yamamoto and the Dodgers won 5-1. Okay, postseason Yamamoto has a 1.57 ERA versus a .73 WHIP.
Yeah.
Okay, against Toronto, he's got a team batting average of 152 and a team on-base percentage of 176. This is a do-or-die game. I very rarely base my handicapping on do or die because, like I said, any given Sunday or any given Saturday, when it comes to Major League Baseball, the ball bounces funny for everybody. But I gotta believe that the LA Dodgers batters are going to step out in Game 6, and I am going to take the Los Angeles Dodgers with Yamamoto over Gausman, -1.5 runs, and I'm going to take -1.5 runs plus 135.
I'll piggyback on it. I agree. I don't think there's anything I can add to what you've already added there. The question is now, who wins in 7 games? Who's going to who's going to be the world champion?
Well, let's look at the perspective. Starting pitchers. All right. If they kept the rotation as it is, for LA, the starting pitcher would be Scherzer. Okay, but I think we've seen the last of Scherzer. Okay, Scherzer got rocked by LA last week. Okay, and for the Dodgers, you've got Tyler Glasnow. Okay, who's got a 2.35 ERA against a .75 WHIP.
Yeah.
I would have to say the LA Dodgers would win a Game 7. If they can get by Game 6, I believe Dave Roberts, with his coaching acumen and his experience, his playoff experience, will pull out all the stops. Okay, I think he's got Game 7 already in the computer system. Okay, pitch counts, scenarios, when to pull in pitches, when to walk people. If it goes to a Game 7, I like the Dodgers to win this World Series on the road.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I think Toronto wins it in 7. I think their bats in this series are a little too much for the Dodgers.
Okay, so that's good. So if the Dodgers, both Boston Dave and Big Joe, for tomorrow's Game 6 in Toronto, like the Dodgers -1.5 runs over -1.5 runs.
Oh yeah, for tomorrow I'm with you.
Plus 135.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree with you for tomorrow.
Now, if it goes to a Game 7, Big Joe likes the Toronto Blue Jays to win it at home, and Boston Dave likes the LA Dodgers to win it on the road.
Yes, and with that being said, folks, we're really hoping you're enjoying the podcast. We're going to have things that upcoming events we'll put out for you in the future. I did put out last week about Spotify. I'm working on it. A couple of issues there. I'm working on it, but we will eventually have the podcast on Spotify. We want to thank the Sportsman again for hosting us. And again, you're going to see us in different locations in the future. And with that being said, for Boston Dave, I'm Big Joe. But before we go, please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification bell. And you can also follow us on TikTok. All right, TikTok. So please get the podcast out here by way of All Talk Production. This is Bangkok Bookies. For Boston Dave, I'm Big Joe.
Happy Halloween and bet on it.